I can feel your heart break. I know it's not okay, but I know you feel like you're gonna break. But don't pull away, and it's okay to feel the way that you do. When you reach the end of yourself, I'll be there too. When you can't trust, I'll trust for you. When you can't move, I'll stay with you. You're not alone, but it's all I can say.
Welcome to Robert's Angels Speak. This is a wonderful show. This is our 4th episode, and thank you for the great response that you've been giving to us about our prior shows that we did. We had a great show with Pete that came on, and he was talking about loss of going through grieving, going through divorces, and also we had Jim Wilson, who had a loss of his mom, and he kind of shared his testimony, shared the experience that he was going through, and also had Lulu that came on our first show, and she kind of shared what she was going through in her life. And these testimonies are here. I mean, everybody's kind of spilling their heart and kind of being very transparent of what they've gone through, and the responses that we're getting, knowing that there's many of you that are out there that are going through similar circumstances, and it has encouraged you. And this is a show that Mike Aloya approached me about. He said, look, I think we need to do a show on grieving, because all of us go through that in some form of another. A loss of a family member, a loss of a job, a loss of going through a divorce, just a loss. And it's hard to get through that. And you can go through counseling, you can talk about it, and I've heard books about it, read books about it, and people will say, well, there's certain levels that you go through the different stages, and I say every situation is unique. You can say, you may think you're going crazy, or you may be angry, or you may be sad. I mean, these are all different levels of grieving, and every situation is unique. This show started out, when you hear Robert's Angels Speak, if you haven't seen any of the prior shows, I had a son named Robert, and that's who this show was named after. And even to this day, 26 years later, it still is a pain in my heart. And people say, well, you get through it. You do. You know, it does get easier, but it doesn't go away. And the way I've handled it over the years, rather than asking questions why, it's better to ask questions how. How can I become better? How can I help others that are going through this type of tragedy? How can I encourage others? How can I minister to others? Or the question, what? You know, what can I learn from this? Or what can I do to help other people be encouraged? So I know the pain of a loss of a child, it's devastating, but for those of you that are out there that have experienced that, maybe recently you've gone through that, I promise you, you will get through it. You will. Just trust in the Lord. Keep on marching forward. Every day is a new day. God has a plan. All things work together for good for those who love Him and those who trust in Him. So God definitely does have a plan, and that's what this show is all about. We're going to have many guests throughout the shows that we're doing, and like I said, each testimony is unique. Each one is different, and I know the testimonies that you will hear will encourage you, and it'll hit home with you in your heart, and you'll say, wow, that's exactly or close to what I'm going through. Just from what he or she is saying, that's ministering to me. So that's what this show is all about. So you can get things from this show to encourage you, to lift you up, to help you go through it. You may think I'm going crazy, I'm going nuts. That's okay. That's fine. We all are. But you do get through it. So I hope these shows encourage you. I hope they inspire you. I hope they lift you up. I'm sure that they will. Today we have a special guest who I just met for the very first time. And that's what's amazing about these shows. They're not scripted. You know, I don't even know what her testimony is, and I'm just as new hearing it as you will be today. So I'm uplifted, I'm encouraged to hear what her message is, what her testimony is. Her name is Crystal, and we are happy to have her on the show. So we're going to take a short break, listen to some of the commercials. We are out here at Hands and Feet Foundation. Today is a Saturday as we're recording this show. We had an amazing, amazing worship time, a great message. And I'm going to tell you one thing, man, if you have a chance to hear this young lady sing, she is on fire. She is awesome. So listen to her music. She's got great testimonies behind her music. We were inspired and just very thankful that she shared a couple songs with us today. So we will be right back, and we will see you in a couple minutes. Hi, it's Rich Norton. I am a board member for the Haven Horse Ranch in St. Augustine, Florida. This is a wonderful ministry that specializes in equine therapy for special needs children. What an amazing ministry. If you'd like to support this ministry, go to havenhorseranch.org, havenhorseranch.org in St. Augustine, Florida, and you will bless somebody and you'll get blessed yourself. Appreciate you doing that. God bless.
Hey everybody, Johnny Van Zandt from Leonard Skinner here with the sign of Hands and Feet. We want you to go out and donate. We want you to go see them. God bless each and every one of you. Support, support, support.
Amen.
Amen. Hey everybody, Johnny Van Zandt here from Skinner. Hey, I want you to donate to the Hands and Feet West Side. West Side's the best side. There you go. That's where I was born at. Anyway, hey, listen, they're feeding homeless vets. Homeless people, helping people recover. They're a good organization. Don't forget, donate to the Hands and Feet West Side. God bless.
Hello everybody, I'm Amy Gandy from Hands and Feet Foundation. It is a non-profit organization, 501c3, that my husband and I started 4 years ago. What we do is we feed the least of these. We help the least of these in our community and everywhere else if they want to come. We have hot meals every day from 12:30 to 2. After we eat, we have a Bible study every day. We have clothes, food. Once a month we have free doctors, free psychiatrists, a free optometrist, dentists, and these are real licensed practitioners. And we have haircuts on Mondays. We help people get into rehab and detox from drug addiction, life on the street, where they need help. We have homeless shelters that we facilitate with, that if they want to get off the street, we help homeless veterans get off the street, because there's no reason they should be out. And how we do all this, we do it for free, from donations, volunteers, and from people like y'all. We would like for you to look us up on Facebook, Hands and Feet Westside. We'd like for you to look at our website, handsandfeetfoundation.org. Our address is 7478 103rd Street, Jacksonville, Florida, 32210. The Bible says that when you have done unto the least of these, you have done unto me. Thank you.
Hey everybody, go to handsandfeetfoundation.org and support them. Don't forget, support, support, support. For the Son of Man who came to seek and save the lost. Luke 19:10.
Hi, Rich Norton with Retriever Merchant Solutions. I have great news for you today. Many of you have asked about a sales opportunity with our company. The great news is, yes, we definitely do have opportunities. If you're a go-getter, you like meeting people, and you're interested in a position where you can earn residual income, which means make money while you sleep, and great commissions up front, that's what we have here. If you're looking for an opportunity rather than a job, call me at 904-434-4635, or you can email me at opportunity.rps@gmail.com. Look forward to hearing from you. We will teach you, we will train you to become successful. Welcome back to Robert's Angels Speak. I'm excited to have Crystal Monroe on the show with me today. Pleasure to meet you. This is the first time I'm meeting Crystal, and Like I said earlier, she blessed us incredibly with, boy, you got some talent, man. You're belting out them songs, and what a beautiful voice. And let's get that out of the way first. I know you got music and you got your own, I guess, website, or can you share that with everybody?
So my name is Lea Monroe. I am a former artist from Universal Records, and you can find my website. It's crystalleamonroe.com. That's CRYSTALLEA Monroe.co. I'm sorry, not .com. We're on Facebook.
Awesome, fantastic. Make sure you listen to the music. It's not only is she talented, but the words and the messages, boy, I could just, the songs that you sang today was just uplifting and inspiring. And I said, man, this young lady's got a testimony. And like I said, I'm just meeting you here today, so I want you to share. I guess you're from Virginia. Is that where you're from originally?
Yes, I was born in Virginia Beach, and I started traveling, doing music when I was 15 and toured up until I was 27 when I decided to start my company, Who Are You Empires. It's for suicide prevention and holistic rehabilitation. It's about treating the spirit and the body before you drug the mind.
Okay, very good. So you say suicide prevention. I know I heard briefly somewhat of your testimony, and man, it's an incredible thing. I couldn't even imagine what you've been through at a very young age. If you don't mind, and I thank you for being on the show, because this is going to help a lot of people that are maybe recently gone through this experience, or maybe they're thinking about doing something. You know, and I know it's going to help some people. So if you don't mind sharing, you know, what happened with you and what got you involved with that.
So when I was 9 years old, my mother committed suicide. She turned her driver's license in to the Virginia Beach police officers and said she had 2 children at home and that she was going to kill herself. And at 9 years old, when the police knocked on my door and asked me if I had anywhere safe to go, the only safe place I'd ever known to go was to my mom. After that, then at 9, they thought it would be a great idea to prescribe me pharmaceuticals to deal with the issue instead of teaching me how to deal with my emotions. And so by 13, I had tried to hang myself, and by 16, I had overdosed twice. I started touring when I was 15, but being out on the road with all of the medication that they'd given me gave me access to what I thought was my freedom, which I thought was death. I thought, like, oh, everything inside of me was I didn't feel alive. The pain felt so bad, and my mom was the one who taught me how to deal with those things. So being so young and then being medicated, I really didn't know what was going on inside my own body, and so it was a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing to fight, dealing with depression and suicidal thoughts on a daily basis. I also lost my grandfather to suicide. He shot himself when I was pregnant with my first daughter, and I think that people get to the point where they feel so sad and so dead inside, and they have no hope, and they forget about God, and they forget about people out there caring about who they are, because they've stopped loving who they are. And I think that that's important, that we love who we are regardless of what we have, because what we have doesn't make us who we are. It's what's inside, and nobody can ever take the light from inside. They can take everything else, but they can't take the light that is inside of you.
Wow, powerful. All right, so you're 9 years old. I mean, you're 9 years old, you're supposed to be outside playing and not worrying about anything, right? And all of a sudden you get this devastating news. I mean, how do you deal? I mean, I can't even imagine the emotions of what's going through
I miss her
mind.
every day.
Yeah.
I feel like a piece of me left with her.
Sure. Was there, because we talked about different stages of grief, did you ever get to a point where you were just so got mad, you got angry, or
Everyone asks me that if I'm angry at her.
maybe you're not now, or maybe was there any stage?
I've never been angry at her, and I'll tell you why I've never been angry at her. Because I felt like she felt.
Yeah.
And I felt that so many times over that I thought, how can I be angry at her for wanting to stop her pain? What I wish more than anything was that she had someone to talk to, someone to call, someone to spiritually guide her or mentor her or tell her that whatever pain she was going through or struggles that she was going through, that she was going to be okay, that God would provide. And I think that's what I tell myself. But do I feel like I've gotten past it or over it? I don't feel like I've gotten past it. I don't feel like I've gotten over it. I feel like that made me who I am.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as I stated earlier, it's like it was 26 years ago for me losing my son. Even to this day, I talk about it. It's like you're getting emotional, and that's fine. That's okay. That's part of who you are, and you don't get over it because people say, "Well, the time's gone by. You just get over it and move on." That's part of who you are. Like you said, that's part of who you become, and that's incredible. You're incredible. You really are.
Well, I think God's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to be able to reach out to other people that feel like there isn't a way. I want to tell them that, they're not alone in their thoughts and that there's help out there. There's people that care. Because I think even just when you meet someone, like if you meet a homeless person, for me, I like to ask them what their name is.
Yeah.
Because it makes them feel significant. And there are so many people in the world that don't feel significant and they don't feel that they matter. And that's when we lose good people. If my mother hadn't committed suicide, I wouldn't have known what it would have been like to grow up without a mother, and I would have left both of my daughters behind. And that's the only reason for many years that I kept fighting, was because I never want my daughter to not feel protected.
Sure.
I never want her to feel alone. But if I didn't lose my mom, if I didn't have to make that sacrifice, I wouldn't have got to the point where I built a relationship with God. I wouldn't have got to a point where I thought that it was important to continue doing music or grow and build a company to help people. I never would have made it there.
Absolutely. And that's all. I always say when came out bad, God can make good out of it. He intended it to become good. And what you're doing now, nobody knows what you're going through, what you've been through, unless they've been there themselves. And I'm sure you probably have heard people say, well, I know how you feel, or I know, no, you don't know how I feel, right?
Yeah.
But to be able to go through what you've gone through and be able to share with others that are going through that or suffering a loss, you can be an encouragement to them, and you are.
Thank you. I think that there are probably lots of little girls out there and little boys out there who've lost their parents to either suicide or addiction, or they're alive but they aren't mentally able to care for them. And I think it's important for us to make sure that they know that they matter, because that's when we're really dealing with the effects of grief, because they travel, and when they travel down, they cause different things. And when you don't know how to deal with your emotions and you feel like there's no one there, we could have one great kid that could go out and do a lot of amazing things in the world, but they could also go out and do a lot of bad things in the world.
That's right.
If they don't know how to handle it.
Exactly right. And for someone to, and I wanted you to talk about that, and for anybody that's out, because I know there's going to be some people watching the show right now that maybe feel hopeless, or maybe, like you talked about, I don't matter, There's some that may feel that way. Do I really matter? Do I really make a difference? Do I even need to be here? And I think all of us have gone through, maybe not to the extent of I'm going to commit suicide, but all of us have gotten really down. But for those of you that are feeling hopeless out there, what do you say to them?
Your story matters. Your story matters, and you're the only person who can tell your story. Your testimony matters, and you're the only person who can tell your testimony. So if there are ever times that you feel like you're angry and that you don't matter, just remember that you are the only one that holds the pen that can write your story, and your story can save somebody else's lives. And I feel like that in itself matters.
Amen. Amen. Just what you said, God laid it on my heart a while back to write a book.
Oh,
and
yes,
the name
awesome.
of the book is my title. No, nobody steal it at all, right? But the name
Trademark.
of the book. Okay, yeah,
Trademark.
the name of the book is Your Story Doesn't End Here. And just what you said is, I want to encourage all of you that are out there, if you're thinking that, hey, my situation is hopeless or I feel like giving up. We've all felt that way, but you do matter. God designed you for a purpose. He has a reason for you to be here. Nowhere in the Bible or anywhere does it say that you're going to have an easy life. We all go through difficulties. We all go through challenges. We go through obstacles, some a lot worse than others. Yours is an extreme case here. But here you are today, and you're sharing what God is doing in your life, and it's incredible. So you do matter. You do make a difference. God has a plan for your life, and you will get through this. If you're feeling down, you're feeling like you don't matter, or you feel hopeless, call somebody. Call a family member. Call a friend.
Start
call the
writing your
suicide.
stories.
There you go. Write your story. Call the suicide hotline. There's so many out there that are going to get you through this. And can you talk on that too?
Yes, please. If you, we don't have, Who Are You Empires doesn't have a 1-800 number, but I do personally accept emails at whoareyouempires@gmail.com. You can email me, and I would love to personally hear your story and talk to you. I just feel like that's why I'm here. I'm here to help people like me. So if you want to get your story out, and you want to talk about things, feel free to email. I would be glad to talk to anyone who is feeling lonely. I would be grateful to hear what you have to share, because I feel like when you're brought together, you're always brought together for a reason.
Absolutely. Yeah, no such thing as coincidence. Right?
No.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I've lost some friends through suicide, and a couple of them was like a shock, and it goes to show you that you don't know what they're really going through.
Yeah.
There was one guy who was like, man, always positive, always happy, and then, he went through, and then all of a sudden I heard he committed suicide. It was, so it makes me think that no matter what you're going through, reach out.
I seen a thing the other day that had Robin Williams' face on it, and it said, make sure you check on your happy friends.
Yeah.
Make sure you check on your friends that are always smiling, because you never know what's behind that smile, and words are a powerful thing. I think also another important thing, if you're feeling bad or you're feeling lonely, is for you to start spreading love.
That's right.
For you to start finding one beautiful thing about every negative thing in your life. Find one good thing and start repeating it to yourself.
Right.
Start looking at yourself and smiling in the mirror and saying, I'm happy, I'm happy. Confidence and happiness, that takes practice. That's not something that you give, that's something that's earned.
That's right.
Right. So I think that's important too.
Now you're speaking my language, because I do that. I drive
Yeah.
my wife crazy because I'm in the mirror and you're awesome, you're great, you're going to be fantastic, you're a winner, God's got a plan for you. All that self-talk is important, good positive self-talk, where I always say, today's going to be a great day, today's a super fantastic, dynamite, exciting day, and I feel great, and I'm great. I'm going to go out there and make it happen. All that definitely does make a difference.
It brings in good energies,
Yes. Yes.
So I think that's important, to make sure that you are your number one fan. And if you have to convince yourself to be your number one fan, then you better do it, because you got to convince yourself before anyone else can,
Absolutely.
do that for you.
Absolutely. So let's talk about where you're at now, because you're incredibly talented in music. I got to see a short glimpse of that. And so how's music helping you?
Oh, so music helped me because I was able to take the things that were going on in my life that I was too ashamed or embarrassed to tell other people, and write it down. And if I'm writing it down for myself, it never sounded stupid, and I didn't have to worry about what other people thought. And sometimes the most painful things become the most beautiful things when you put them into song. But now, as far as music, when I decided I was going to start Who Are You Empires, it was the day before I was supposed to perform with T-Boz and Chili. And I don't know if anyone knows the group TLC, but they're a pretty large group, and nobody had sang with them since Lisa had died, and I was getting ready to finish her music, and life was going to be grand, except for I was dying inside. I was an addict, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna change my life. Like, I'm not gonna take this road, because even though music is nurturing to my soul, I wasn't able to spread the message and the story of helping people, and I didn't feel like I was doing enough, and that was the goal. So then I went to Paul Mitchell. I'm a Paul Mitchell stylist. I stand behind my chair every day trying to make people feel beautiful, because I think that if you feel good about yourself and you like what you see in the world, it's easier for you to go out and face that. But my life now is dedicated to helping others overcome addiction or grief or things that they find that might possibly stand in their way of them having a job that they're passionate about. Every day everybody gets up and they go to work. They probably quit their job before they get up and go get dressed for work. Well, you should love what you do every day, and I feel like when you're helping people, that you love what you do every day.
Absolutely.
So I've started my company about 5 years ago. We're here in Jacksonville, and like I said, we're going to be building some tiny houses, and these tiny houses have different trade degree themes attached to them. People can come here and get educated once they've been in recovery, or if they've been misdiagnosed with mental illness, because I feel like we deal with a lot of that in today's society. Someone's grieving from something, here, give them this pill. This pill's going to fix it. That pill's not going to fix you. That pill's not going to make the pain go away. It's just going to mask it until it comes back full force and it's ready to take over you completely.
Exactly. You're an inspiration. You are an inspiration.
Prayer and meditation.
There you go. I would love to do another show with you. We're kind of running out of time, and man, it's gone by fast. Would you come back on the show?
I would love that.
I think you have a lot to share with everybody. Yeah, you've been a true blessing. So thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I look forward to having you back on the show again. I know you've been encouraged today. This has been a blessing, and God's got a plan for you. There is hope.
Who you are.
Yeah, exactly. So this is not the end of your story. Your story continues. Go out and make it a great story, and have a blessed day. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
heartbreak. I know it's not okay, but I know you feel like you're gonna break. But don't pull away, and it's okay to feel the way that you do. When you reach the end of yourself, I'll be there too. When you can't trust, I'll trust for you. When you can't move, I'll stay with you. You're not alone, but it's all